Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another videos, another paid request, this time from Mr. Leeman. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, which is usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for a film called Black Belt, but not the Don the Dragon Wilson film from back in the day. This is one from 2007. Never heard of this one. It's one of those films I can appreciate what it did. I do not think it's a bad film. But it's a film that, while I appreciate what it did, it just, kind of mundane for me. Because what it's doing is trying to focus on the philosophy of karate and trying to be more realistic in its fight scenes, where the fight scenes are done by black belts, and in a real fight, for the most part, they're not going to last long. Block and punch you, or kick you, you're down on the ground. Granted, there's no quick cuts, there's no fancy editing, there's really no music during the fights. And I can appreciate that because it's real people knowing what they're doing, and this is probably how it would. This was how it would play in real life, because the body would not be able to take that much punishment. I can appreciate that and I understand that. It's just for me, I like the extravagance of the kung fu movies and Bruceploitation and Jean-Claude Van Damme. And with that said, I think there's people that could get satisfaction out of this movie, because the plot takes place in the 1930s. The military's coming in to the school where you have a sensei and his three students. One student is more aggressive and more offensive, strikes. The middle guy's kind of just there. And the other guy, he seems a bit more defensive. He doesn't want to attack, he just blocks. But when he blocks in a way that almost shuts down the opponent's limbs with the way he blocks. So you have the aggressive student deal with the soldiers. Like one guy, he does one punch and one kick and takes the soldier out. The defensive guy, he's blocked in. He never throws a punch. He's blocked in, gets the guy down. The soldier realizes, their commanding officer is down. Get the fuck out of there. Their sensei dies, but before he dies, he hasn't given out the black belt. And so it's a conversation between the three: who's going to get this black belt? But before they center on that, the military comes back. These three students are forced to go. The two kids who were the kids of that captain that the guy was just blocked in and made the captain lose, but because he felt disgraced, he ended his life. So the two kids want revenge. And once again, our lead, he's really our lead character, he doesn't want to fight, he doesn't want to attack, he just blocks. And ultimately is blocked and pushed off a cliff. He survives, he's healed up by family, he's getting to know the family, getting to know the little kid. It's a philosophy of, was his sensei right? What should he believe in? And you have the one student who is with the military now, is training the soldiers, is working with the military, the army. They go from school to school, challenging senseis, either join us or I'll fight you. And if I fight you, you're going to get your ass killed, which he does. And he gets influenced by money, more power, women, and wine. Not really money, but it's more of the sense of power, accomplishment, women and wine put together. While the other guy, apparently that rooster's drunk as well. Does I say wine, and he pipes up, "Where's the wine?" "No wine for you today." "I don't fucking have wine." And if I did, you think I'd feed random chickens roosters wine? Fuck that shit. Don't go to Popeye's chicken. How about that? You keep that up. By the way, getting back to this. Yes, I said Popeye's chicken. Fuck it. We don't go there together, and you're the main course. Keep it up. But as I was saying here, like I said, the aggressive one trains the army, consumed by this power women. The other is deal with this family. These guys fucking around, and he's blocking their moves and blocking their moves more. When the fight scenes happen, it's no frills. I didn't say thrills, I said frills. Frills, meaning I said there's no music, there's no fancy schmancy stuff, fancy movements. Again, very basic, very low key. I didn't probably how this would play out in reality. So I can appreciate what the story's going for, but the story just wasn't that exciting to me. I just thought it was, at the end of the day, fairly boring. I can appreciate what it was doing, but again, as a guy that I've seen a couple dozen, I've seen plenty and plenty of different martial arts films. You just say, well, you just prefer more over the top, more this. Okay, maybe that's the case. So I just watch this. I go, okay. It just the story's very simplistic. The characters, I thought, the acting was not a problem, but the characters are rather one note. The way I describe them is really all there is to the characters. There's really not much like in terms of personality characteristics, in terms of charisma or quirks or humor. Pretty dry film when it comes to humor. There's really none at all in this. Which I understand, that's not the purpose of it. But it's not really a movie that, other than seeing people utilize karate in a more realistic fashion, in the few scenes that, again, this guy challenges these senseis. I'm trying to think how many he challenges. Maybe, idea there's this stuff at the beginning, then he challenges maybe 2 or so senseis. Then you have the other guy using his defensive blocks to try to deal with these 3 or so guys. Which, sorry, even he gets his ass kicked, and the other guy has to help him. The guy, the middle student, is with the aggressive guy, but he realizes, hey, you're going too far. You kicked this guy in the head and killed him. You didn't have to do that. The other guy's like, I don't give a shit. It's trying to do the philosophies of karate, self-defense versus, versus aggression. Sorry, went down the wrong pipe. I apologize. But I just didn't feel anything of emotional gravitas to it. I didn't really feel anything unique in terms of the story. Like, oh, I haven't seen that before, or that felt unique, or that felt... It just didn't seem exciting. So, like I said, the characters felt kind of one-dimensional, one-note. I didn't really feel a lot of emotion to the story. I didn't really care about the story, to be honest. The action was kind of meh. Honestly, it wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad because these are black belt guys that know what they're doing, but it's just block, kick, punch. Yes, that's how it would be in real life, but it's just when you've seen so many other movies, so you're used to, whether it be Don the Dragon Wilson or John Van Damme or Cynthia Roth or all these guys, it just, when you go back to these basics, it just, that's kind of the reaction I did. Really nothing else in between. Now, if you're not a fan of that stuff and this could be more your cup of tea, I could understand that. It just isn't really my cup of tea. And then the ending is finally the two students fight to find out who this is black belt. And then the movie cuts to black and white. And this is definitely the longer fight of the movie, as they're both skilled. And finally the guy stops blocking and starts going on the offensive. They go down the hill and they're rolling around in the mud. I actually appreciate a movie trying to go back to basics. The Hunted with Tommy Lee Jones. Trying to be brutal, but that was much more violent and visceral, and the characters, Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro, I was more intrigued by, I was more interested by, and William Friedkin's direction. I was more invested into the story and to the proceedings. And again, the actors I know more of, I enjoy more of their performances. Felt a bit more of the intensity in certain scenes. Definitely with the knife work, bloodier. Spoiler, the good guy wins, the other guy dies, but the good guy gives him, the aggressive student, the belt. And then the ending, just him doing katas and a bunch of text of what happened afterward. Him doing katas and text, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. So, I know a lot of people give this high praise, but to me it just kind of very basic. Basic plot, basic real but basic moves that you really just see in any karate demonstration. Well, demonstration, they don't want to hurt you, to be fair, but at least a good juxtaposition of it. You don't watch this real matches on YouTube, karate matches where you're at least to knock the opponent down. Let alone just watch kickboxing matches. And there's nothing that exciting as a movie. So, it just wasn't my cup of tea. You may say I just prefer more of the unrealistic way, or the more flamboyant, the more over-the-top way. So be it, because it is. So be it. Even like Sonny Chiba, when he did the Street Fighter, you say he did simple moves, but that had more pizzazz. With the music, or the pre-Mortal Kombat with the X-ray coming down. They had a bit more razzle-dazzle to it. And Sonny Chiba just had much more presence, his look, his vibe, compared to the people in this movie. This, I really didn't give a shit about the characters one way or the other. And the philosophies of karate, good for them. I don't really care a whole lot about that either. I apologize by just being honest, being blunt on it. And the fight scenes you can watch on YouTube, and they are good for what they are needing it to be. But it's just, they're quick, they're fast, they're efficient, shows their skills, but I don't feel any emotion about it, if that makes sense. Whether laughing at, laughing with, excited, adrenaline pumped, all the above. Getting pulled into it, getting excited. Oh, wow, that's cool, or wow, that looked neat. Nothing really comes to mind other than, okay. So I don't know how else to word it. That's just me. With that said, thanks once again, Mr. Leeman. I appreciate it, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.